Good morning, good people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Super excited this morning. Came back from my Chicago trip and all of my devices are down, so I'm trying to let them get a little juice so I can start the show this morning. But how's everybody doing this morning? 6 signs it's time to quit your job, man. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, brother. That's what we're talking about this morning, man. 6 signs that it might be time for you to quit your job. And I'm just going to monetize this, no tags, and just go ahead and go live. Roger, good morning. JP, CEO, good morning. Miller, good morning. Elisheba, good morning. I'm a little late, guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started this morning if y'all don't mind. Planting Future Gains Financial Education Group is in the building. Giovanni, I'll be back in the Chi next month. So and next time I come, it will be specifically for the Black Wealth Movement to kind of do some training and stuff there. I got a little bit of a team growing there. I know you're going to do some amazing things there as well. So next time it will be more organized. When I come for basketball trips, I just try to always throw something while I'm in town, but I will come specifically for the Black Wealth Movement next month and let you know exactly when that's going to be. In fact, I might need you to help me put it together, right? So if you can help me put that together, get us a nice little space, a restaurant with a back room or something where we can meet and do some training, have some fun. We'll do that within the next month or so. All right, let's get ready to rumble, as they say. My man Michael Buffer would say. Let's see, I got 6% juice here. That's enough for the show. All right. All right, let's go. Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Black Wealth Movement Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, if you're still on the fence and not decided to join the Black Wealth Movement, what's holding you back, right? The Black Wealth Movement is a network of Black people who are dedicated and committed to bringing financial empowerment to the Black community. We teach the 5 major pillars of building wealth: entrepreneurship, tax minimization, debt elimination, credit education, and asset accumulation. Who do you know that's wealthy that do not participate in those 5 disciplines, right? So we teach those. In essence, we teach you how to build wealth from scratch. If you have not checked out the Black Wealth Movement, do so by going to www.blackwealthmovement2017.com. Again, www.blackwealthmovement2017.com. Learn all there is to know about the Black Wealth Movement, or you can simply inbox me or text the phrase Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. A pleasure to be with you this morning. Do me a favor, if you're on Periscope, go ahead and share or invite your this to Twitter and invite your followers to come check us out. Make sure you hit the little man in the corner so that you can get the notifications when we go live throughout the day. Also, you guys on YouTube, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, you want to go ahead and subscribe, and then copy the link and share it on your favorite social media timeline, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you like to share links. Share the link to today's show. I'm sure you know some people who may be on the fence about when is a good time to quit their job. And we're going to talk about the 6 signs that can help you understand that more clearly. And you guys on Facebook, you know I love you. Go ahead and share the stream. And remind me during the middle of the show to ask those who come on late to share the stream as well, because you know that the likes and the hearts and the shares and the comments, all of that means something. So when we go live, the more likes, comments, and shares we get on each show, the more they will push the show out to more and more people. And this is how we compete with the ratchetness that's out there on Facebook. So you guys gotta like, comment, and share so Facebook knows that we have some valuable content here. So today we're talking about the 6 signs it's time to quit your job. But before we do, let me let you know exactly who the show is for, just in case you are new. This show is for risers and grinders, right? If you are ready to get up, get out, and get something this morning, this is your show. This show is for legacy builders only. If you are serious about building a legacy for your children, your children's children, your great-great-great-grandchildren, this is your show. Every night before I lay down to sleep, I think to myself, what am I going to do tomorrow, next month, next year, next 5 years, next 10 years, to make sure my children's children will be proud to bear my last name. If that's you, this is your show. On the other hand, who is the show not for? If you are that person who is in a perpetual state of need, always looking for a handout instead of a hand up, this is not your show. If you're that person who's got that weird relationship with money, where you think money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, you think wealthy people are snobs, then get off my stream, because everybody on this stream is wealthy. And notice there's a difference. We don't talk about riches here. We don't talk about money a lot as much as we talk about wealth. Because wealth is an abundance of resources. And when it comes to resources of any kind, you always want them in abundance. Money is just a single resource, but we want an abundance of all resources. If that's not you, this ain't your show. And like I tell you each and every morning, I have absolutely no problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. I only have a problem with you when you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy. Do not let my aspirations for greatness rub you the wrong way. You might be satisfied and content with where you are. I'm not. I'm striving for more. And like I also tell you each and every morning, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, yes, that's billion with a B. I want you to take a screenshot. Jeez, and watch me work, right? 2027, it's going down. I'm not only bold enough to proclaim that I'm a billionaire, I put a date on that thing. And if you don't like it, kick rocks. So today we're talking about 6 signs it's time to quit your job. Now, you will never hear me bashing a job. Yes, I was fortunate enough to retire from corporate America just last year, October 3rd, and I've been building my own business and brand ever since and loving every minute of it. That may not be the path that you're called to. That may not be the path that you even aspire to have for yourself, and a job is a good thing, right? If you keep it in its proper perspective, right? So I'm not the one that's going to bash a job. My mentors teach me to be grateful and thankful for your job. Just don't be satisfied, right? Be grateful and thankful for your job. Just don't be satisfied. And also don't be solely dependent. Because even though you might call it, man, I got to go to my job. This is the company I work for. This is my company, right? That's not really your job. You never own a job, right? That is never really your company. You never really own that company, right? I know we feel like we're included, we're a part of it, but if you're solely dependent on your job and that's your only revenue source, then that to me is more risky than investing in the stock market. That to me is more risky than investing in real estate. That to me is more risky than investing in your own business. Right? I know, because people say, man, you gonna walk away from a $60,000 a year job and do your own thing? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? You taking a huge risk. No, taking a huge risk is only having your job as a single source of income. That is taking a huge risk. right? Because on your job, what do you tend to do? You tend to finance your lifestyle and leverage debt and credit based on income that you don't have yet, because you have what you think is a stable and a secure job. What I do want you to know about a job is your job and you are diametrically opposed at all times. Your job and you are diametrically opposed at all times. What do I mean by that? Your job is always in the mode of how can I make the most amount of money, profit, revenue for my investors while expending the least amount of effort to do that. So your job is trying to get the most out of the least. You as an employee are trying to get the most out of the least as well. You're saying, how can I get more money out of this job? How can I grow? How can I expand? How can I get a bigger and a better position? While your job is constantly saying, no, we're in contraction mode. You as an individual, you're thinking in growth and expansion mode, and you will always be diametrically opposed to the philosophy of your job with your aspirations for growth and expansion. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying to you is, since you know that that opposition is there always between you and your job is always in contraction mode. How can we eliminate a department but still operate at the same level? How can we cut some jobs and still continue to grow at the rate that we're growing? How can we cut back on salaries and freeze raises but still get the most production out of our people, right? Those are things that a job are doing from the top down. As an employee, you're saying, how can I work harder and get recognized so they can give me more money? How can I work harder, maybe go back to school, get another degree so I can advance and become a supervisor and get more money? So you're thinking expansion. Your job from a fundamental level is thinking contraction. Your job is thinking of Six Sigma, right? Go lean. Get the most out of everything. Slim down, become more nimble, but get the most. Continue to grow revenue and all of that. So understand that fundamentally there is always going to be that opposition between you and your job. So don't let your job be your only source of income, is all I'm saying. Don't let your job be your only source of income. If you are, that is extremely, extremely, extremely risky, in my opinion, right? People say they don't invest in the stock market because that's risky. Only having your income come from a job is risky. Even if your job doesn't cut you, but you get terminally ill, like my girl Lady Ray J did at one point in her life. Stage 3 cancer came out of nowhere, blindsided her. And her job was like, hey, we don't want to give you no disability. We might not even want you around here. You might just need to, I don't know what you're going to do, but, right? So what if you get sick? What if you're unable to perform, right? Having your job as your only source of income is extremely risky. So a lot of people are starting to feel this way, and they're looking for the signs of, okay, how do I know if I'm ready to walk off my job? How do I know when is a good time to leave my job? What is it that can trigger your thought process and know if you're going down the right direction, down the right path, right? So, number one, if you enjoy working flexible hours, and guys, this is how I knew it was time for me to walk away. If you enjoy working flexible hours a little too much, it might be a sign that it's time for you to quit your job. So number one, if you enjoy working flexible hours a little too much, so the last 18 months on the job, I got promoted and I got a little bit of flexibility on my job. I kind of go into work when I want to. And kind of stay late and leave early if I needed to, and nobody questioned anything. So that flexibility allowed me to, start to really build my business. Now, I was already in my business, growing my business. My business was thriving on the side. And like my girl Mojo says, my business was my 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 was my side hustle. I'm gonna run that back. My business, I treated like my 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 was like my side hustle. My 9 to 5 was what I was doing to earn a little extra money on the side to grow the real thing, which was my business, right? So I got that flexibility on the job, and the morning show was born out of that flexibility. So I started doing the morning show before I went to work, and man, that had me walking into work on cloud 9 every day, because I was communicating my vision all the time, and I was starting to see this thing really start to come together. And that flexibility, I went from a 1 30-minute lunch break to about 4 30-minute lunch breaks, because people were calling me all the time about the Black Wealth Movement and how can they partner with me? How can I get you to do this radio show? Can I get you to do this TV program? Can I have you as an interview on my podcast? It was bananas, right? So if you're in a position where you have flexible working hours and a flexible schedule, and you're starting to enjoy that a little too much, there might be a sign that you, my friend, need to quit your job, right? Number 2, you want the ability to work wherever you want. You want the ability to work wherever and whenever you want. That was me. See, as an internet marketer, wherever I have a Wi-Fi connection and a device that can connect to the Wi-Fi, I could be taking care of business, right? So I knew that, and with that flexibility, my job gave me a laptop and a cell phone, so I could work from home. If I rolled over and just didn't feel like getting into traffic, I could just log on and just start working from home, right? So that flexibility, and then the ability to work wherever I was, I like that from the job standpoint, right? But I also had that with my business. I could work wherever and whenever I want in my business. And if that is you, if you would like that freedom, then that might be a sign that you are ready to quit your job, or you should be thinking about an exit strategy for quitting your job. You want the ability to work wherever and whenever you want. You literally have the ability to do that. And a lot of companies are going to that model because they know that they can keep you tethered via some sort of device, whether it's a laptop or cell phone, and you can continue to perform for them. And they give you that flexibility because they realize that, hey, for the last 100 years, we've been asking people to sacrifice one or the other. It's either the job or family. If you got a job, you got to be tethered to that job, and they're like, hey, we don't too much care about what you got going on in your family life. We just want you to be here, right? But now they're starting to realize that we're losing good people because people are starting to choose their family over their career. So now they're saying, okay, if we give you the flexibility to work from home, now you can take care of some family things. You can drop your kids off at school. You can go to school conferences and still be connected. If someone needs to get a hold of you, send you an email or whatever, you got a device, you got your laptop, and you can pop on, you can still work. So, but I want you to look at that from a business standpoint too, is that if you are putting together an exit strategy, know that you have the ability with today's technology to run your business from anywhere on the planet, as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection and a capable device. You could be in business. If you like that kind of thing, chances are you should start to develop fully your exit strategy, because that might be a sign that it's time to quit your job, right? Number three, you like having uncapped potential for growth in salary, You like having uncapped potential for growth and salary. I'm a future billionaire, y'all. What company can I go to work for that's going to allow me to become a billionaire? What company can I go to work for that's going to allow me to become a billionaire, right? If you like having uncapped potential for growth and salary, and some people might be saying that, man, the sky is the limit for me at my company. Okay, I understand. The sky could be the limit for you. Ask yourself this question. How much money does a CEO for your company make? How much money does a CEO for your company make? And it's not hard to find. I'm sure it's public knowledge, right? Now, if you don't think that is a cap, even if you make it all the way to CEO of your company, there is a cap on your growth. That's as far as you can go, and that's probably the biggest income. Now, with inflation, that will grow, but ask yourself, the CEO of my company makes $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, whatever that number is. If you got to his position, if you were able to climb that ladder and you got to that position where you make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, right? There is still a cap, because that's as far as you can go, as far as your growth, and there's a cap on your income. So if you like having an uncapped potential for growth and salary, then chances are might be a good time for you to think about your exit strategy. Might be a good time for you to think about your exit strategy. Right? Lawrence says his CEO is making $9 million a year. $9 million. So is that enough for you? That's not enough for me. If that's enough, so if I was working at Lawrence's company, I would look at the CEO and say, man, that's $9 million. If there is potential for unlimited growth, meaning I could grow to that position and make that kind of money, is that enough for you? If not, you might start thinking about doing something else, because you work for Ford. Okay, so your CEO is making some big money, right? Now, so that salary might be good, but now you have to ask yourself, Lawrence, is there uncapped potential for growth? Can you grow to become the CEO from the position that you're at right now, Lawrence? Can you grow to become CEO in that company? Chances are not. That guy has to die before somebody else can become CEO of Ford. Right? So if you like the potential of uncapped growth and salary income, then Lawrence said, hell no. If you like the potential for uncapped growth and salary, then it might be a good time for you to put your exit strategy together, right? I might want to start doing something on the side that I can jump into full time, because I like these certain freedoms that I get in my business, right? Number 4, you want to be your own boss and set your own goals. You want to be your own boss and set your own goals. These are 6 signs that you might want to start that you might want to quit your job. You might be ready to quit your job. Number 4, you want to be your own boss and set your own goals, right? If that's what you're thinking about constantly while you're on your job, then that might be a sign that you might need to start executing something on the side and start building something of your own, and start coming up with an exit strategy. Start coming up with an exit strategy. A lot of people do not aspire to be their own boss. That's why we don't have so many entrepreneurs. Because when you're an entrepreneur and you're your own boss, especially when you're starting out, I was just telling my wife when we were driving back from Chicago, we was on a business trip this weekend, and I was just telling her that I have to start developing my team now, because right now I'm a solopreneur. That means I am everything. I'm the tech, I'm the marketer, I'm the brander, I'm responsible for email communications, I'm the director of communications, I'm director of security. I have to make sure that my sites and websites are secure. I am the director of the legal department. I have to make sure that I have my legal disclaimers in order. I am a solopreneur. That means I'm responsible for everything. And that word right there scares most people. What word? That word responsible scares a lot of people. That's why it's easier for most people to go to work, because I'm not responsible for everything when I go to work. I show up, there's a building for me to show up to. I show up, there is an office for me to go into work. I show up, there is a computer or a laptop or something already there at my station. I show up, there is orders already handed down from my supervisor on things that I have to do for the day. I show up, there is a set time that I take my break and my lunch. I show up and I get paid. And I don't have to worry about any of that other stuff, right? But if you start thinking about all the time that, man, I need to be my own boss. I need to control my own time. Yes, I want more. I want to set my own goals, right? Like I said, I can't go to somebody's job and say, hey, my aspiration is to become a billionaire by 2027. This is a great company to help me do that, right? Am I getting the job? Nah, my aspirations are a little bit beyond what they can provide, right? So they won't even hire somebody with that sort of ambition, right? So if you want to be your own boss and set your own goals, chances are you're starting to think like an entrepreneur, and it might be, just might be, time for you to quit your job. But again, I'm not an advocate of just quitting your job without a plan. You should be creating an exit strategy while you're working your job, so that when you leave your job, there's a seamless transition. Should be a seamless transition for most of us. My transition wasn't seamless. I was just fed up, ready to go. So I needed to use what's called forced accountability, right? I was growing my business at a certain pace and a certain rate, but I use something called forced accountability all the time to propel me to do things I know I need to be doing, right? What is forced accountability? Quit your job, and you still got a mortgage, you still got kids in college, you still got food that needs to be put on the table. You quit your job, and you're going to be forced into being a lot more accountable for your business activity than you were while you're at job. See, while I had my job and my salary, the accountability wasn't forced. I was just exercising some discipline by going after some of the dreams and goals that I wanted. But then I started to backpedal a little bit. I started to get complacent. And in order for me to experience the growth in my business that I needed, I can't be complacent. So I needed another kick in the butt. And that kick in the butt came in when I quit my job. That forced me to go 20 times harder in my business than I had been, because I had a parachute in a job. No, I cut the cords to the parachute, and now as an entrepreneur, if I don't work, I don't eat. If I don't go out and tell 50 people every day about the Black Wealth Movement, if I don't go out and talk to 50 people every day about the Black Wealth Movement and get 10 or 12 people involved in what we're doing, that's not a good day for me. And if I have more than 3 of those days in a row, my business is going backwards. So most people don't want the responsibility of being a boss. They think they do. They think they do. But most people do not want the responsibility of being a boss. That's why they need a boss. Right? You guys get that? Because most people don't want the responsibility of being a boss, they will always need a boss, a supervisor in their lives to tell them how to make money. My bad, Lawrence, that Facebook is playing again. Jump on over Periscope. Most people don't want the responsibility of being a boss. That's why they are in need of a boss. Right? I read a meme on Facebook. I didn't memorize it, but I think it says, unless you have supervision. I have my vision is on fleek. I have like the Superman laser vision, right? Unless you have supervision, unless you can see yourself as a billionaire by 2027, I have a supervision. Unless you have supervision, you will always need supervision. And some of y'all gonna get that tomorrow. Unless you have a supervision, you will always need supervision. Oh, that's good, man. Some of y'all gonna get that. Let me say it one more time, man. Unless you have a supervision, you will always need supervision. That's real talk. That's real talk. And I've always had a supervision. So I had to cut the cords on my job, and it forced me to be even more accountable to my business. It forced me to be even more disciplined in my business. Right? And I can't take credit for that. I that was on a meme I saw somewhere on Facebook, and it really hit me. It really hit me. Right? And again, we're at the midway point through the show, guys. Go ahead and share the show if you haven't already. Share it. I appreciate the likes and the hearts and all that kind of stuff. So when I left my job, and I had already started the morning show, and the reason I started the morning show, because I was doing videos. At one point, I was doing them every day, and then I kind of slacked off to doing them 3 or 4 times a week. And I started doing them once a week. So something kicked me in the butt and said, man, you need to get with this and get back on your grind. How do you do that? I said, okay, I'm going to do a show weekly. And then something in my spirit said, no, do a show daily. I said, dang, daily? That's a lot. And I committed to it right then and there, even though I didn't have a topic for 231 shows. Something just said, you need to do a show every day, man. Commit to building your brand and your business. So I started doing the show every day. That forced me to be accountable. Then my business grew a notch because of the morning show. And then I needed more time and more things to get to another level. So then I was like, am I going to let this $60,000 a year job keep me from becoming a billionaire? I want y'all to ask yourselves that. Is your job holding you back from your greatest potential ever? In my case, my $60,000 a year job was slowing down my progression to become who I needed to be in order to do the things that I need to do, in order to have the things that I need to have. Right? Be, do, have. I have to become a billionaire first. That's what allows me to do the things that billionaires do, so I can have or manifest the billions. My job was getting in the way of that. I'm not saying go quit your job today. I'm saying start asking yourself some serious questions. Is your job getting in the way of your real dreams, goals, and aspirations? So let me recap the first 4. 6 signs it might be time to quit your job. Number 1, you enjoy working flexible hours a little too much. Number 2, you want the ability to work wherever and whenever you want. Right? Flexible hours, and then flexible in that I can be on any part of the planet. I think Brother Dre is on. Brother Dre travels this country all the time, but guess what? He's always taking care of business. I've seen the brother do live streams from the airport in various parts of the country, various parts of the world. I like that. I like that. So that was a sign to me that I needed to look at stepping up my exit strategy game to quit my job. Number 3, you like having uncapped potential for growth and salary. Uncapped potential for growth and salaries. Some of you guys have a cap on your salary, but you have unlimited growth, right? Some of you guys have unlimited salary. You're in sales. You can make all the money you want, but you cannot become the sales manager, the sales team lead, unless one of those people die or get fired. You can't be the vice president of sales unless the vice president of sales die or get fired. So you want unlimited potential for your growth in being able to climb that ladder, as well as in your salary. If you're looking at that and you're saying, hey, my company don't have it, might be a sign that you need to quit your job. Number 4, you want to be your own boss and set your own goals. You want to be your own boss and set your own goals. That is you. then that's a sign that you might need to quit your job. You had to have been somewhat apprehensive about leaving your job. With that said, did any of your fears manifest after becoming your own boss? I did a live stream when I first, matter of fact, I did a couple of shows on that when I first left my job. You are absolutely right, Antonio. It was the most exhilarating and the most frightening thing I've ever done in my life. Most exhilarating and the most frightening thing I have ever done in my life. Because I've got a wife and I've got 5 sons. One of which is in college, and I was about to send the other one to college. So here I am with 2 kids in college at the same time, 2 in high school. My oldest is up and out of the house with a wife, and I'm walking away from a job with a fairly decent salary. The cost of living in St. Louis isn't that high, so a $60,000 a year job, it can afford a decent lifestyle here in St. Louis. And plus my wife was working, so her salary plus my salary put us close to 6 figures. So, but yes, most exhilarating and the most frightening thing I've ever done in my life. But I have to say, at this point, 8-9 months in, also the most rewarding thing outside of marrying my wife and having children, the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. Because there's nothing like owning your time, y'all. There is nothing like owning your time. The next evolution for me is having time freedom and financial freedom. I have time freedom and my business makes a little bread, but I'm not financially free to do everything that I want to do when I want to do it. So I'm still chasing financial freedom, but there's nothing like owning your time and having the ability to say that I can go and produce on my own. I don't need somebody to set up a structure for me to go in and provide or to farm out or to lease out or to prostitute out my service for pennies compared to knowing what my services really are worth, right? Best believe if my company paid me $60,000 a year to do the job that I was doing, you got to know that that job to them was worth 4, 5, 6 times that. Off my $60,000 a year, and when you understand that how a company works, they gave me the $60,000 in cash, but there was also another $60,000 in benefits that the company was probably on the hook for, including employment taxes, including what they covered as part of my medical and all of that kind of stuff, right? So if they had $120,000 invested in me, the job that I was doing was probably making them $500,000 or more. I want y'all to understand that. When you see that when you know how assets and liabilities work, you know how investments work. If they invested $120,000 on me, do you think that they were only getting $120,000 as their return? Come on, let's be honest. I work for a $1 billion company. I work for one of the big 3 credit bureaus. Do you think for a minute that if they had $160,000 wrapped up in me as an investment, all they were getting off the work that I was doing was just $120,000? No. The work that I was doing was probably netting them $500,000 per year. And off of that $500,000, they will peel off 120, give me 60 in the form of a paycheck, and some sort of update popped up. So ask yourself what you're making right now, and then ask yourself, is that the return that you're giving, that your job is getting off of your labor? No, man. So yes, the most exhilarating and the most frightening thing, I had a conversation with my wife. She backs me fully 100%. It just, some sort of update just started downloading right in the middle of the show, right? So we had a conversation, and she was like, do you think now is the best time? And what really pushed me over the edge is I got a supervisor to come in. So My team was run out of St. Louis. I ran my team out of St. Louis. Our office is headquartered in Atlanta. And then they brought a new boss in over me to supervise my team that I had to train on what it is that I was doing and how we ran the team. And we butted heads right out of the gate. And I will tell you, there's nothing like the feeling of knowing that when someone is belittling you, someone is talking down on you, someone is not giving you the respect that you feel you deserve, to be in a position to walk away from that is exhilarating. It's exhilarating. He knew nothing about what we were doing. I had to train you on what we were doing, and then you would give me and bark out orders to me that contradicted the things that we had in place. So I would end up doing what you told me to do, and then have to come back and redo them the way that I trained you on how they were supposed to be done. But in your authority, you wanted to do things a different way and couldn't see why they were done a certain way. So once I done them your way, then I had to go back and redo them my way. I said, you know what? Deuces. And to be in position to be able to do that. How many of you guys are in a position where you deal with a supervisor that's a little backwards in his thinking and the way they process, but you're not in position to chunk up the deuces? How many of you guys deal with management, supervisors, where literally you're not paid the way that you should be paid? You're running things, but you're not getting paid as somebody who runs things, right? And the tones and the things that you have to deal with on a regular and consistent basis, they're killing you. The stress is killing you physically. And if you continue to be belittled and your ideas are thrown out and beat down, that kills you spiritually. How many people will go through that all the time? But you're not putting yourself in position. Man, bye, dude. Had a conversation with my wife on Friday. Went to the job on Monday at 9 o'clock. By 9:30, my stuff was packed up and I was out of there. You know why my stuff was packed up in less than 20 minutes? It took me 2 minutes to pack my stuff up. Because on my job, I always knew that day was coming, so I didn't decorate my cubicle as if I was at home, because I wasn't home there. Some of y'all decorate your cubicle at home and make it feel like you're at home because you're comfortable there. I ain't never planned on being comfortable there. People say, where your picture of your kids at? At home, where they supposed to be. I'm not trying to bring any reminders of home here so I can make myself at home here because I don't want to be here. So it took me 20 minutes to talk to my coworkers that I was leaving and convince them that I was serious. But it took me 2 minutes to pack my stuff because all I had to do is just throw everything away, put everything in the recycle bin. And I was like, dude, I sent an email to my boss, and it was like, my boss's boss, because the new guy, I sent it to the guy who was over me before the new guy and said, hey man, I'm out of here. It's been real. I appreciate you giving me a little advance and a raise and all that, man, but I got some other things to do. Right? How many of you guys got your cubes all decorated out? And every morning you see pictures of your kids and all of that stuff, and you see these reminders of home, and now you've made yourself at home on a job. It messes up with your exit strategy, man. I didn't want nothing to look like at home. Matter of fact, my coworkers used to tease me, and every day at the end of the day, they say, whatever Hernando is doing, when it's time to go, his desk always look like he's going to be right back. Because at a certain time, when it was time for me to go, I left. Whatever it was, I was in the middle of, I didn't stop it. No. whatever I was in, they said Hernando just always looked like he's gonna be right back. Yeah, because when it's time to go, I was gone. But you have to, I don't. That's a psychological thing. I even though I was with the company 12 years, I still never got comfortable there. I was never trying to get comfortable there, right? And you see some people when they lose their job, it takes them 2 hours to pack up because they never thought this would happen. They had planned to be there forever, right? Not me, not the kid. So, number 5, you like having extra cash on hand to enjoy life. If you like having that extra cash on hand, chances are that's a sign. That's number 5. Number 5 is you like having extra cash on hand to enjoy life. If that's you, that's a sign that it might be time for you to quit your job. Because if your job isn't putting you in position to have that extra cash on hand, yeah, it might be a sign that you need to enjoy life. Yeah, and Giovanni says she has her pictures of her family and stuff up because it keeps her grounded, and she has to remind herself what she's doing it for, because she knows that's not a place that she wants to be permanently. So she's using it for the reverse effect. But some people do it to get completely comfortable. But I get that you got your kids there, so I can remind myself I'm taking all of this crap because I'm trying to do something for my family. I'm trying to do something for my kids. I'm taking this crap off of you so I have to see my family to remind me of why I don't just get up and walk the hell out of here right now before I take another ounce of crap off you before you make me snap your neck up in here. Right? I'm not going to snap and go crazy, but you might make me snap your neck up in here before I walk out of here. Right? So I get it, Giovanni. I get it. But yeah, I didn't want people like, man, you ain't got no pictures of the kids? Nope. Not here. So number 6, you like having extra cash on hand to enjoy life. Right? That was number 5. Number 5. And number 6 is you desire a career that challenges and motivates you. You desire a career that challenges and motivates you. I'm going to tell you guys something about why I am it is so rewarding to be running the Black Wealth Movement, man. And it's challenging at the same time, and I've always loved the challenge. I know that when it comes to building this Black Wealth Movement, and I hear from people all the time, man, our people are flat out sick, man. And the challenge comes in trying to first and foremost get our people to understand that they deserve to be wealthy. Let me say it again. The challenge for me in a lot of cases come in trying to convince our people that you deserve to be wealthy. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I love that challenge. So after I get over that hurdle, because there's a lot of things that have gone into us that make us believe that we don't even deserve to have wealth. We are unworthy to live a financially free existence on this planet. Something deep down inside of us that has been put in us that makes us feel that we are supposed to be and we ever will be dependent on others to take care of us. So that's challenging in and of itself, but I like the reward that I get when I'm able to help people break through those mental chains and those mental blocks and see, wait a minute, you're right, man. If God put everything on this planet in abundance and he created this planet with me in mind, then I should be prosperous. I should live with an abundance. I should not be struggling check to check. Everything on this planet is put here in abundance. So why do I have to convince you that it's okay to be wealthy? Why do I have to convince you that it's okay to have more than enough? Why do I have to convince you that there's nothing wrong with your cup overflowing? So that's challenging and rewarding for me at the same time, right? Do you desire a career, an opportunity, a business, a situation that challenges and motivates you? I'm motivated by the Black Wealth Movement every morning. Because every morning, every day I wake up, somebody new has joined the movement, and that tells me that there's somebody else who gets it. That's motivating me. Every time somebody new joins the movement, that means in another part of the country, they're going to be able to take and spread this movement, and we're going to create 1,000 independently wealthy people who are charging in these communities, dozens at a time, and we're rebuilding. That's motivating for me. Right? What are you doing where you're getting that type of fulfillment of being challenged and motivated at the same time? Challenging and motivates you. So if that's going on in your head constantly, and you constantly have to talk to yourself and talk yourself out of some of these thoughts, right? Meaning, so let me just recap, and I'm going to give you how some of us have to talk ourselves out of these thoughts, but these thoughts keep cropping up for a reason, right? You enjoy working flexible hours. Man, I couldn't work no flexible hours because if I could be here at any time I wanted to, I probably wouldn't be here on time and up. I probably would mess that up and come in too late and oversleep and all that. I need structure in my life, right? You start talking yourself off the ledge. In other words, you start rationalizing stupid stuff, right? There's nothing wrong with feeling like you want flexible hours. But you rationalize having a structured hour because your job doesn't offer flexible hours. And if you want flexible hours, that means you have to do something different and you don't really want change. So you rationalize to stay the same. Number two, you want the ability to work wherever you want. Man, if I had a laptop and a computer, because this was me. I didn't want a laptop to be able to work from home. Because I knew that working from home for me meant working 30 minutes for my job and then 30 minutes in my own business. 30 minutes for my job, 30 minutes in my own business. That means really in an 8-hour shift, they got 4 hours out of me and I put 4 hours in my business because I was working from home. Right? You start rationalizing why these things don't work, but you keep having these ideas for a reason. Number three, you like having uncapped potential for growth and salary. Now I'm cool where I'm at, man. I don't want to be. I don't want to be no supervisor. I don't want to be no manager. Get out of here. You start rationalizing where you are because in aspiring for greater things means you have to become somebody different, which requires change, and most people can't stand change. They don't want to change. So you start rationalizing where you are and making yourself okay with that. But if you're constantly having to rationalize why you don't want uncapped potential, why you don't want growth, why you don't want more money. Oh, I'm cool where I'm at. I make enough money, man. I live all right. I don't want nothing extra. Stop lying to yourself, man. Stop it. You rationalizing because you know that will require you to take the responsibility to do more than what you're doing. That might require you to take the responsibility to put in a few hours after you get off your 9 to 5. Right? Number three, you want to be your own boss and set your own goals. Man, I love my supervisor, man. My supervisor cool as a mug, man. You hear people saying that on their job. No, I like doing the work of the supervisor, but I don't need the title. Right? We rationalize some crazy stuff, man. Some crazy stuff. Right? Number five, you want to have extra cash on hand to enjoy life. Oh, I live good, man. I take me a couple of vacations. My family are good, man. No, we straight. I don't need no extra money. You rationalize where you are in life so that you can believe that you're comfortable and complacent, because that is how you avoid changing. That is how you avoid change, by rationalizing that you are completely comfortable with what you have and what you want. And every night you go home and your children say, Dad, let's go to Disney World. And instead of saying, Dad is not in a position financially to take you to Disney World, you rationalize why going to Disney World ain't a good idea. Man, we're not going to go get them white people all our money. We're going to use our money, keep our money safe, and keep our money, and rationalize bull crap. When in fact, you're really saying to yourself, I don't want to do what's necessary to create the discretionary income to be able to take y'all to Disney World and not miss that money. You rationalize a bunch of BS. Right? And you desire a career that challenges you and motivates you. Man, this job is easy as heck, man. I ain't never leaving this job, man. It's easy. All I got to do is go in here and fold these boxes. It's easy. All I got to do is go in here and answer a couple calls, take a couple emails. It's easy as heck, man. I love this little easy job, man. I'm gonna stay on this job forever. Stop it, man. Just rationalize some BS, because you know if you stepped out on faith and did anything, there is potential for failure, there's potential for embarrassment, there's potential for shame, and those are the things that we try to avoid that are holding us back. Those things we try to avoid. Go back a couple weeks to the show what I did on the 4 things we try to avoid that is holding us back. We're trying to avoid that stuff. That's why we rationalize staying exactly where we are. And when you stay where you are, you don't have to change, you don't have to grow. So now you tell everybody around you that you're comfortable with where you are, while at the same time you're having this internal fight with yourself. And that's what's killing people. That's what's driving people insane, is that internal fight with the greater them, that greater being that you are inside. You're constantly battling to suppress that greater being. And that's what creates internal chaos and turmoil. There's a greater being trying to rise up in you, but you continue to rationalize that you're complacent and you're content with where you are, so that you're wrestling to keep that greater being pinned down. Y'all need to stop that, man. Y'all need to stop that, man. Because that greater being is probably the very person that your children need to see. That greater being that you're suppressing with all this rationalizing and all of this BS that you got going on, trying to convince yourself that you're cool and complacent and you're content with where you are, that very being is who your Creator is trying to show to your children and the people around you. Yeah. A feeling of sadness comes upon your arrival daily. Right? That's another sign that you might need to quit your job. If you approach, when you start heading towards your job and you start feeling sick and queasy in the stomach, if you are approach your job and you start feeling uneasy, and you only feel that way when you're approaching your job, and the closer you get to the job, the more intense that feeling gets, it's another sign, man. That's not a sign that you should quit your job. That's a sign that you should have been quit your job, because that job is literally making you physically sick. That is a problem. And so many people, especially on Mondays, when the most heart attacks are recorded. When the most heart attacks are recorded, early Monday mornings, the stress of having to get up and go put another week in, it's killing people, literally. So, again, guys, if you want to recap, Black Wealth Movement, man, we added 14, 15 families this week, something like that. It was just an amazing week. People are starting to get it. They're starting to come to the realization that there's nothing wrong with being wealthy. There's nothing wrong with having a money game plan. So that's what we are doing. And if you want to be a part of this movement, simply text the phrase Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. I'd love to talk to you more about how the Black Wealth Movement is liberating people all over this country financially. And yes, money is not everything, but when you get your money right, a lot of things fall into place. Money is not everything, but when you do get your money right, a lot of things fall in place. Yeah. And you got, Giovanni says, when you cry en route to work. See, if I'm crying on my way to work, and I do that every day, or I do that 2 or 3 times per week, and I don't change that, that's a sign that you've letting that job drive you crazy too. Because now you're doing something that is literally causing you sadness and pain, and you continue to do that every single day. And if you're not changing, if you're not busting your butt on those other 8 hours outside of job, so you got 8 hours you put into your job, you got 8 more hours outside of your job, and then you have your time that you have to sleep. And if you're not busting your butt with that second set of 8 hours to do something to bring some income in that's going to replace that job or position you to walk away from that job, then I'm not saying this to you personally, Giovanni, but in general, if you are letting a job push you to that point where it is driving you to tears on your way to work a couple times a week, and you're not doing anything with that other 8 hours to position yourself to replace that job, I don't feel sorry for you. And I know that might be harsh, but if a job is killing you like that, and then when you leave that job, you have another 8 to 12 hours, because some of us don't need a full 8 hours of sleep to be productive the next day. You have a full 8 to 12 hours that you could be putting something in for yourself to replace the job that is literally killing you physically and killing you spiritually. Your spirit has to be crushed for you to be moved to tears on your way to work every day. Your spirit has to be dying, bleeding out. And you're doing nothing but taking that. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you. Now, if you're doing something with those 8 hours and it just hasn't manifested yet, but you're grinding away at your job, and the moment you jump off that job, you're grinding away at something else, a side hustle or anything, yeah, those are the type of people. Again, I posted a meme that yesterday or over the weekend that says, when it comes to the Black Wealth Movement, everybody is on the sideline talking about what they want to join. See, I'm as a Drapetomaniac, and proud to be one, I am fully sick with Drapetomania, right? And I'm trying to infect as many people as I can. As a Drapetomaniac, I'm not concerned with people who want to run. That's not my concern. I'm not trying to connect or attract people to me that want to run. I'm connecting with people who are already running. You guys get the difference? If I waited for people who want to run, I'd be waiting forever, because some people who want to do things, they just stay in that perpetual state of wanting to do forever and never actually do. That's not who I'm connecting with. I'm connecting with people who are already running. And I'm saying, hey, let's run this way together. You're running over here, I'm running over here. We're going in the same direction. We're chasing financial freedom. Let's run in that same direction. Let's run together. I watch your back, you watch my back. Right? I bring my skills and everything to the table. You bring your skills to the table, and we benefit. We leverage each other's greatness, and let's run together. There's a lot of people sitting on the sideline wanting to join the Black Wealth Movement. The movement ain't for you. The movement are for those who are already running. The movement is for people who are already doing something towards their financial freedom. And they see this as a way to accelerate that growth. Right? So I know I kept you guys a little bit longer today. Wealthy Walk, what's going on, brother? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Some of you guys may be experiencing some of this stuff right now as you're going to your jobs and on your jobs. Danielle, give me a call today. Let's connect. I want to make sure that you are fully engaged in the Black Wealth movement so I can get you where you want to be. Yeah, I know some of you guys are experiencing some of this stuff and you're having these internal battles. And the reason you're having these internal battles is because you probably should be building something on the side so that you can replace your job. So I'm H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, y'all.